Hello there. In this video I'm looking at the Star Wars Shatterpoint squad building. Hello AOS fans, Robin here. Yes, I'm back with another Shatterpoint video for you. I haven't got bored of it yet. This week AMG released their first blog post about how the squad building is going to work. They released it about a week ago. Usually I'm running behind. I have written a couple of blog posts about it, so you can check those out. But this is a little video to try and succinctly describe what's going on. I would say that the post kind of broke things down into two main sections. There's a kind of a thematic take and a mechanistic take. I'm going to look at the thematic take first. It's possibly the most controversial, possibly not. It's caused a bit of consternation, but not too much, because most people are pretty pragmatic and they just want to play a game and use their favourite Star Wars characters, which is where I'm coming from too. Before I dive straight into theme, a quick outline of how it's going to work. When you want to play a game of Shatterpoint, you need a strike team, and a strike team is made up of two squads. And there are rules to define how you pick your squads. It hasn't been said whether it's going to be like MCP, so a strike team is like your roster, and then you can pick points. So you have, in MC Marvel Crisis Protocol, you have 10 models, and you pick from the points values of those models to put your team out in each game. I'm guessing the strike team is sort of going to be like that. You pick one or the other, and the reason for that is, I think, is because of the way they thematically broken this down, and you can have different eras in the game, but your squads can be of different eras. So you could have one squad that was from the kind of Clone Wars, and another squad that was from what they've called the Galactic Rebellion, so sort of Galactic Civil War, sorry, so the sort of Rebellion era, Luke Skywalker, that kind of stuff. But within the squads, each squad has to be coherent. So you can only have Clone Wars fighters if you've got a Clone Wars squad. You can only have Galactic Alliance, Galactic Civil War fighters. In that squad, you can't mix and match within squads, but you can mix and match in your strike teams. Your strike teams can be of both different things. And I wonder, they haven't said, but I wonder whether you could never actually put both strike teams on the table at once. Who knows? I feel like thematically that would be the best way to go, but with games and themes, sometimes you have to bend a little bit to get a better game. You have to bend the theme a little bit just to, so like I say, to get a better game. Give yourself more options. So thematically, that kind of is it in a nutshell. Each squad has its own era, whether that be Clone Wars, or I guess they've used Galactic Civil War. I don't know if they're going to go further in the future and have a sort of Resistance era type stuff. It's given by an icon, and each card or model in the game is represented by will be given an icon of where they can be. And so your squad is picked up of entirely fighters from that era, but there isn't any affiliation beyond that. So typically you're going to be looking to have a Ahsoka Tano with probably Rex and some clones maybe. So the example they gave in the article was Ahsoka Tano with Bo-Katan, and then a couple of clan crews, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, Mandalorians. But they did say you can mix it up. So if you wanted Anakin with some droids, you can totally do that, because they're the same era. I guess moving forward, I don't know whether you would ever want to do this, but maybe you could have, say, Princess Leia or Luke fighting alongside Darth Vader. Sounds a bit daft. I'm not sure it would work out that way because of the way things are broken down, but we'll come to that in a minute. But maybe Luke Skywalker leading some stormtroopers or something. So if that could happen, you're going to have to bend your kind of narrative head. Can you bend your narrative head? I don't know if you can bend a head, but you're going to have to kind of be a little bit more relaxed. I think that's just because of the nature of gaming, and you want sort of the needs of a game compared with the needs of a narrative storyline. So in the Star Wars narrative, everything's very black and white, particularly in the film versions. You're either good or bad, and you don't really fight on. You don't really have much crossover. In some of the later stories on Disney Plus, that's not true. There's some shades of grey and some sort of different allegiances for expedience and that kind of thing. But generally speaking, Star Wars is pretty black and white, and the game I think is going to have more shades of grey, just purely so that you can give yourself more options within the game without it being you have to play the sort of set teams, because there isn't really any alternative coming out of the narrative. And I think that's fine. Some people don't like it, and I could totally see that. I could see why you might not want to field Luke Skywalker leading stormtroopers or Darth Vader leading some rebels. It wouldn't really make sense. The way that the game is broken down, each unit Each squad is made up of exactly 3 kind of units. So they've got a primary unit, they have a secondary unit, and they have a support unit, and that's always one of each in a squad. And you can do that twice, and so you can have your squads made up of those units, and then there's 2 squads to a strike team, and the 2 squads can be of differing eras, but everything within each squad has to be the same era. And I think that's okay. Like I say, I think whereas the narrative line is very straight, then we're going to need to build a little bit around that in our sandbox of what we're doing to give ourselves more options with the units that we have available to play games with. One thing they did say, which kind of ties in with a lot of games and Marvel Crisis Protocol, if you have a model with the same name, so for example they're going to be doing a Ahsoka Tano Padawan version and a Ahsoka Tano Jedi No More they call, which is kind of like from the end of the Clone Wars when she's left the Jedi Academy. You cannot fill both of those because they have the same name keyword, and that kind of makes sense. There's one thing sort of inventing a story why Anakin Skywalker might have captured a tactical droid and be using that to control some droids to help him on a particular mission. That kind of narratively makes some sense, but Ahsoka Tano appearing twice at different ages on the battlefield doesn't really make any sense. So that's okay, that's good. So mechanistically, I've already said each squad is made up of 3 units. Now that doesn't just mean 3 models. I don't quite know how I'm going to work out in the examples they gave. There's the Ahsoka Tano Jedi No More is the primary unit. She's got a little 1-person icon at the bottom of her card, and so is Bo-Katan. She's the secondary unit, but the support unit has a double person, and that's a couple of different Mandalorian models. So I guess I don't know whether all primary and secondary units are just single models and then support units are multiple models. It looks like from the box that's sort of how it's going to break down. So I think you've got Ventress in the box, and there's a Gar Saxon, and then there's a couple of Clan Saxon Mandalorians to go together. There's obviously Ahsoka, and then you've got Rex and the Clone Troopers. And their models. The droids are a little bit different. There's a tactical droid who's a single model on a stand. I guess he could go with Ventress, or there is, but the droids have 3 models to a base. And you've got Maul and Anakin Skywalker in there as your primary unit. So you've got a bit of option there to mix and match within the era, which is good. So that's the kind of top level, and then below. So how you can pick which secondary units you use. So you pick your primary unit first, kind of makes sense, who your leader is, and then how you pick your secondary units and your support units. You get points depending on how good your primary unit is. You get points to spend on the other two. The other two, obviously, the better your primary unit is, the stronger they are, the fewer points you get to spend. So in the example they gave you, Ahsoka Tano has 8 points, and that conveniently, considering both in the core box, that gives you 4 for Bo-Katan crews, and then the Clan crews Mandalorians also 4. So that's your 8 points spent, and that's your 3 units, your primary, your secondary, and your support units done. Don't know how the others are going to work out. We didn't really see any other points values. But that, I'm guessing they're all going to be of a much of a muchness to give you as much flexibility and coherency as possible. You don't want to end up with options. Yeah, basically you can't take somebody, or you can't take certain combinations together. But I guess we'll have to see. One other mechanistic point is that each card is going to have a number of tags on it. So they gave the example of the Rex card, and he's got 501st, Clone Trooper, and Galactic Republic on his card, and those keywords in of themselves don't do anything, but much like those of us who follow our Warhammer Underworlds content, much like they have keywords that don't do anything in themselves, and that can cause some confusion sometimes. Quite often we get questions as to why does the card say Mechanolith on it, or what is a Hunter Quarry. They don't in and of themselves do anything. So in this case, Clone Trooper 501st, they don't in and of themselves do anything, but there might be cards or fighters that can do things to 501st troopers. So anything's on the board that have 501st, they will potentially affect them. And there's a little highlighted tab on the card. They've only highlighted one, but it says "Get a move on, soldier." And at the start of this activation, choose a character in this unit or another allied Galactic Republic character. So any other Galactic Republic characters, the chosen character may gain a couple of little icons. One that looks like maybe they can move, and the other one I'm not sure. It could be, it looks like almost like a clone helmet. So maybe it's an extra defense, or perhaps it's some sort of success Defense seems more likely, but who knows? So clearly they have abilities that can be used to improve things on the board. It looks like, just looking at this card now, it looks like there might be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different abilities on a Clone Rex card. Hard to say, hard to know. The Get a Move on Soldier might be one of those 4 that we can see, or it could be extra to itself. And I think that's about it. I don't think they revealed much else. So I suppose the big take home of this is that you are going to be able to make some thematically interesting matchups in your squads and across your strike team, because I said to the strike teams, the squads can be of different eras. It's not clear whether those 2 different era strike teams can be on the table at the same time. Personally, I'm hoping not there. That will be a bit too much of a thematic break for me, but the thematic breaks within squads is, I think, okay. So if you do end up, I mean, the Luke leading stormtroopers things, maybe it's rebels dressed as stormtroopers, and because the helmets don't fit properly, that's why they can't hit anything. You know, there are ways of dressing anything up if you want to. A lot of people are just going to basically play power play on the table. This is the best combinations, and this is what I'm playing it. I don't really care what the story behind that is. Has made me realise I did completely forget something, which is that one final thing was that the tags kind of go into the synergies. So I kind of should have stressed that. So they have talked about the fact that you obviously, cards like Rex don't work if you had Rex, Ahsoka, Rex and droids. All the different things you can do to boost clone troopers or Galactic Republic things aren't going to work, because they won't be part of the Galactic Republic. They will be, I assume, separatists. So when picking your things, certain things of the same kind of ilk within the Star Wars universe are going to boost each other. That kind of I think is interesting, and it'll be interesting to see whether ultimately those synergies trump combinations of just the best things together. I mean, it's impossible to know at the moment without only seeing a couple of things, but I would like to think that the synergies will kind of win out over crazy combos. I suspect they mostly will, but there's always combinations that people discover and invent, and whether the designers don't find that kind of break things, and well, not break things, but you know, to exaggerate the best of each different unit in a way unexpected to the designers. Let's put it that way. So that's it. That's the coverage of the latest AMG article. Do check out the blog. Do give me a follow on there if you like. If you've just come to the YouTube channel Ages of Sigmar because you've found it somehow searching for Shatterpoint, do give us a like, subscribe, ring that bell. I'm trying to keep the momentum going so that when the game hits in June, I can convince Pete to play it, and we can get some games in, and hopefully we can bring our usual irreverent gaming style to games of Star Wars Shatterpoint. But until then, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye!